always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these shit I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey guys, how you going? I'm back. How you going, Deb, Alex, Kai, Flyby Stew? Who else have we got in here? Dealey, how you going, guys? Sherry, how you going? Good to see everyone. Okay, let's get on with it. Okay, we're waiting for the Epstein files. Apparently some have just been given out to some influencers. Stage 1. I don't know. Okay, let's go over some tweets and see what's going on. Glenn Beck said, who is subverting POTUS? The Epstein files are a total joke. I know Cash, Pam B and the president. This is not the file. White House tells me that they believe the usual suspects, FBI and SDNY. Something New York. What was it? This? Oh, my goodness. Has the actual Epstein list and are refusing to turn it over. This is an internal civil war. If true, I'll be doing next special X-cast in a few minutes. Okay, there's a lot of speculation on what's going on. Steve said now that Donald Trump has been cleared of the Epstein client list, you know why they're so afraid of him winning. Here's your reminder on what Donald Trump had to say about child traffickers. Give them the death penalty. I need more butter for my popcorn. Let's have a listen.
100% gone, 100% destroyed. They'll come back now because we have a weak administration. I will use Title 42 to end the child trafficking crisis by returning all trafficked children to their families in their home countries and without delay. And I will urge Congress to ensure that anyone caught trafficking children across our border receives the death penalty immediately. And that includes also for women, because women, as you know, are number one in trafficking. Children are actually number two. I want to thank Eduardo, Jim, Tim Ballard, and 100%.
There you go. Libs of TikTok said J.D. Vance rips UK for trying to censor American citizens' right to Keir Starmer's face. I said what I said. We know that there have been infringements on free speech that affect American technology companies and, by extension, American citizens. Let's have a listen. I better watch my volume here. I think it's going to be a bit louder.
Yes, ma'am.
In his remarks at the Munich Security Conference, Vice President Vance condemned free speech violations in the UK, particularly. Could you respond? What is your message?
I have an idea. We have the man right here. Come on. Let's go, JD. We're putting you on stage.
Great. Yeah, look, I said what I said, which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies. But we also know that there have been infringements on free speech that actually affect not just the British. Of course, what the British do in their own country is up to them, but also affect American technology companies and by extension American citizens. So that is something that we'll talk about today at lunch. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That'd be interesting. I'd love to be a fly on the wall. Dan Wootton said, Keir Starmer just lied to the world's media in front of Donald Trump and JD Vance. We have had free speech for a very long time in the United Kingdom, and it'll last for a very, very long time. I'm very proud of our history there. Grandmas are in jail for Facebook posts, for fuck's sake. Okay, Tony said, Keir Starmer, we've had free speech. Okay, very proud of that. That's why Tommy Robinson is in solitary. That's why grandmothers are intimidated on their doorstep by the police. And that's why Facebook posters are in prison, you liar. And again, JD Vance calls out, sorry, I did bookmark some things twice, accidentally. And yes, Alex, I'll get into the Gene Hackman and his wife in a minute. I do have that bookmarked as well. James Melville said the difference in body language and demeanour displayed by Donald Trump and Keir Starmer is enormous. Yeah, Keir Starmer doesn't know what to do. Weak little pissant. Little puppet. Look, he's going, oh, yeah. It's like a girlfriend who doesn't know anyone. It's like me when I don't know anyone when I meet a guy, you know. Stand there going, oh, quite awkward. No, I'm kidding. Libs of TikTok said Joshua J. Garcia, Superintendent of Tacoma Public Schools, sent a letter to families stating the district will continue allowing boys to invade girls' sports despite Trump's executive order. This district should have their funding immediately pulled and be investigated. And this man should be investigated too. Remove the school's funding ASAP, but that would be the best thing to do. Inevitable West said breaking the Trump admin have raised the British flag upside down during the meeting with Starmer. An upside down British flag is a distress signal. Starmer is in trouble. Let's hope so.
I don't know how much we should read into this, Mark, but the Union flag, I can tell you, is currently flying upside down on Blair House. This clearly is a mistake. The Blair House is the presidential guest house. It's right here opposite the White House. It's where Keir Starmer stayed last night. It's where all world leaders stay when they come to visit the president, and it always flies the flag of the nation that's visiting. Well, as you know, it can easily be flown upside down by accident. Only an eagle-eyed person would spot it, but it's upside down. A sign of distress? I don't know. I don't know how much.
I don't know. You're a propagandist, mate. I think it is a sign of distress. The UK is in distress. Wait till we get to it. Oh, my God. I feel sorry for you people in the UK, honestly. I thought Australia was bad. MAGA Voice said breaking the Supreme Court just sided with Donald Trump, blocking the lower court's order, forcing Donald Trump to give aid to foreign countries. This is a massive win because the lower courts can't do that. If that happened, then any court would be able to stop the president from doing anything and nothing would ever get done. Clandestine said Trump shuts down any possibility of Ukraine ever getting NATO membership. This is not going to happen. That's what started this whole thing. I appreciate how Trump breaks the fourth wall here and just tells it how it is. No more beating around the bush. NATO expansionism is what provoked Putin to act, and Trump is not afraid to acknowledge it. A rare moment of realism in US politics.
The Europeans want Ukraine to be part of NATO as part of this deal. Are you willing to budge on that at all, or is it a firm?
Well, I could be very nice and say, oh, well, we'll work to it. Look, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. That's what started this whole thing. Biden said that, and all of a sudden the gun started. That was one of the primary reasons this started. And this was long before President Putin. They never said it was an impossibility. So we can say, oh, gee, well, we'll try, but that's something that's just not going to happen. And then the other question I ask is about the land. Will you get your land back? Well, they've fought long and hard on the land, and you and I will be discussing that, and we're going to certainly try and get as much as we can back. But on the NATO, it's just not, that's not going to happen. Yeah, please.
There you go. Not going to happen. Ukraine is not joining NATO. DC Drano said, I've been informed that every word of the Epstein files in this banner will be released in full today. We cannot control exact time, but it is happening. The Trump admin is the most transparent in our lifetimes. Equal justice is being restored in America. And these were the people who got the folders, phase 1 folders. So there's phases to this. And I have a theory on why that is, but I'll wait until I get there. Okay, so I think it was Chaya Raychek. I can't remember who the people... I think I've got it bookmarked here. George said, breaking, Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin just signed an executive order deputising state law enforcement to assist with illegal alien arrests and deportations. This order will allow Virginia State Police and the Department of Corrections to partner with President Trump's administration on federal immigration enforcement. Dangerous criminal, illegal immigrants should not be let back into the communities to assault, rape and murder. They should be sent back to where they came from. Okay. MAGA Voice said, if they are a Democrat on the Epstein list, arrest them. If they are a Republican on the Epstein list, arrest them. If they're an independent on the Epstein list, arrest them. I want them all thrown into prison for life. How does that make you feel? I feel exactly the same way. I don't care which side they're on. And by the way, everything mentioned here, anyone mentioned here is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And everything stated here is theory until proven fact. Okay? Which most of it is anyway. Brilliant Hollyhand said, Dear Doge, if you put Hillary Clinton's arrest on pay-per-view, you could settle the national debt. You probably could too. Crazy Vibes just responded to DC Drano, who's... Okay. DC Drano said, today I met with President Trump, JD Vance, AG Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel in the Oval Office. They handed me a binder of the Epstein files. So DC Drano got one. This is the most transparent administration. Yep, okay. Alina just confirmed that Kash wants to arrest Epstein clients. Hammer of justice is coming. Okay, and a lot of people are saying this is old information. And it probably is. This is quite funny, this thing. Serenity, Border Patrol agents assigned to San Diego sector tackle and arrest suspected smugglers at the border. Okay, you've got the Border Patrol or whatever here and the man suspected of trafficking people across the border. Just jump on him, mate. Like, what are you waiting for? I don't know. But it's funny watching this, right? Because then what happens next is really funny. Why are you backing away from it? Here we go. Watch this guy here, okay? Watch this man. He's not taking no shit, mate. Watch him. Okay? It's just straight, he's down. Oh, my goodness. He got him. Anyway, that took someone coming out of nowhere to just take him down there. Okay, who we got? Just announced. DC Drono, Libs of TikTok, Cernovich, Liz Wheeler, ALX and Jack Pozo seen holding Epstein files. Phase 1 at the White House. This is from AJ Huber. Release the Epstein list names. Who've been to Epstein Island? Mass arrests are coming soon. Okay, so these are the people. It's DC Drano, Libs of TikTok, Cernovich, Liz Wheeler, ALX, and Jack Posobiec. Riz said, all eyes on the Ripple case, SEC Gov. John Reid Stark said the SEC's frantic and unprecedented rampage to dismantle its crypto enforcement program continues, this time halting 2 SEC appeals dead in their tracks. Buckle up, XRP Army, and the Ripple appeal has got to be next on the SEC chopping block. US Securities and Exchange. Is there any more to show? No, that's it. Okay. Oh, no, it's a picture. Hev. Okay. Clandestine said it's happening. AG Bondi just ordered the FBI to deliver the full and complete Epstein files, which includes documents, audio, video, etc., to a desk by 8 a.m. tomorrow. This was 2 hours ago, okay? Because the FBI, they're doing some funny shit right now. She also confirmed that public disclosure will be happening, but they will make sure to protect the privacy of the victims. In other words, we'll eventually be getting everything. Trump's appointees are working diligently to get the job done, and everyone just needs to relax. Whatever we get in phase 1 is just the beginning, and more will be coming, hence the usage of phases. Bondi is being extremely transparent and letting us know what's going on, and the process of public disclosure is underway. Yes, the deep state will resist, but Trump and his appointees are actively working on achieving transparency for the American people. Office of the Attorney General, dear Director Patel, before you came into office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily of flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts and victims' names and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request and was repeatedly assured by the FBI we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn this new information. By 8 a.m. tomorrow, February 28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings and materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how much information was obtained. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and in accordance with the law. I have done my entire career as I've done my entire career as a prosecutor. I'm also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation into why my order to the FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and proposed personnel action within 14 days. I appreciate your immediate attention to this important matter. I know we're both committed to transparency for the American people, and I look forward to continuing to work with you to serve our president and our country. No redactions. No fucking redactions. None of us want redactions. Oh, well, look. Victims' names probably, but you could just name like victim 1, 2, 3, 4, or as many as you need to. MAGA Voice, yeah, we know that. Ex-journalists who have the list, okay. Dr. Simon Godek said breaking. Pam Bondi just exposed the FBI Epstein cover-up. The FBI deliberately hid thousands of Epstein files to protect the elites and silence the truth. They lied, they covered for predators. Now they're being forced to hand them over. The deep state is crumbling. Even Tim Poole said breaking. The FBI New York appears to have gone rogue. AG letter says FBI NY is withholding critical Epstein documents. This after reports that the FBI was secretly destroying Epstein documents. What the fuck is happening? And they were. Apparently, yesterday, they were destroying evidence, according to someone who saw them, or whistleblower, something like that. Gunther Eagleman said if FBI agents at SDNY are actively interfering with Pam Bondi's attempts to get documents regarding Epstein, they should face criminal charges immediately. Yeah, I don't understand what's so hard about that one, but anyway. Maybe they have to find out who they are first. I'm sure they know. Okay, Jack Straw said March 4th, 2025, the great revealing. Trump announced he will be addressing joint Congress. Every member of Congress is told their presence is mandatory. March the 4th was the day set by our Confederation Congress in 1788 for our new government under our Constitution to begin operations. Our first Congress met March the 4th, 1789. Very interesting. They're doing this on purpose. They're doing the phases on purpose to awaken the public that are not yet awake. I really do think so. Old Soldier said the Minister for Home Affairs drives a Chinese-made EV here in Australia. It is considered a threat as the vehicle records everything said in the vehicle and has the potential to transmit that information over internet systems back to China. He was briefed on this on 5 separate occasions. He still drives it. How dumb. No, they're doing it on purpose. They obviously have something over their heads, some sort of blackmail. Alexandra Marshall said the centre-right, slightly wet conservative media is stunned. They have no idea what to write when it comes to Donald Trump. They do not understand this sort of business-style politics. Reading the pages of The Australian, of Sky News Australia, they are either lost for words or completely misunderstanding what's happening in these global negotiations. I've never seen such a gulf between reality and commentary. For anyone who watches Sky News Australia, just be aware. I'm not telling you not to watch them, but I'd say be very aware. They've got no freaking idea. Okay? So the ones that call themselves like conservative media, which is the Australian Sky News Australia, pretty much have no idea. Salty Goat said there it is. Peace deal reached between Russia and Ukraine. Zelensky's flying to the US to sign the deal made by President Trump. Details. United States gets 50% of the revenue from Ukraine's mineral wealth as repayment for the money spent on the war. No membership to NATO, and Ukraine concedes some territory. Liberals, you'll go ahead and start crying, but this shit is over. There you go. Okay. Oh, here we go. It sure does. Batty in Stockholm said, kinda looks like Tom Hanks. Flat Out Truth said, Mrs. Rockefeller. Is it just me who's seeing it? It does look like him. I wonder if it's his dad. Because this is a pretty old photo, and I'm pretty sure that this person's old, and it wouldn't be Tom Hanks. But it looks like him. Oh my God, let's watch it. See the comments, right? Sorry, guys, hang on a sec. Okay, remember you can pretend to be a girl all you want, but you're still going to need a prostate exam at age 40. There we go. Gaffer Anon. That was Tom Hanks dressed as a woman. I don't know. Do they think these squiggly things in their hair make them more feminine? Or the earrings or the necklace or the dress? Wearing gloves, I see. Pretty hairy arms, actually. Do you see what I see? Yeah, he is apparently. Mrs. MTW. Good on ya. Yeah, Tom is apparently a Rockefeller. Okay. Very interesting. It does. Mrs. Rockefeller. Interesting. Oh, my goodness. Okay, MBP. This was 19 hours ago. Notorious alleged pedo Tom Hanks just posted another one of his missing glove photos. Tom Hanks must have been some very hot coffee. TH, thanks. Okay, I'll put this in here for a reason. T. Hanks, sorry. Looks like it says thanks. A glove and a coffee cup. Isn't it funny how Gene Hackman and his wife and their dog just passed away? All at the same time? I wonder if he had anything to do with it. Oh, dear. I don't know. It's just a thought I had straight away. I sort of thought, okay, I've just learned now that when was this? 19 hours ago. When did we find out about Gene Hackman and that? Nothing to see here, said I wonder how Tom Hanks is feeling right about now. Apparently, when he was in Australia, oh dear God, Tom Hanks said kids' sock washed ashore, lost ashore, Bondi Beach, New South Wales. Get out of my state. I wonder if he must have done something in Bondi as well. And then 14 hours ago, I don't know, very interesting, 19 hours ago, Tom Hanks posted this, and then 14 hours ago, it could be longer. This could be just that I grabbed this one. Okay, Stephen Steele said breaking legend of an actor, Gene Hackman, has just been found dead in his Santa Fe, New Mexico home along with his wife, classical pianist Betsy Arakawa, as well as their dog. No foul play is being reported, but unless this was a serious gas leak, how is it not foul play? Very interesting. Hang on a sec, I just want to see. What's the investigation's latest updates? What does Grok say? Authorities have labelled the circumstances suspicious enough for a thorough investigation, but no immediate signs of foul play, forced entry or gas leaks have been detected. Okay. I doubt they'd all go at the same time. The investigation continues to explore all possibilities, including scattered pills near Arakawa's body, although no cause of... Would they really give the pills to their dog as well? Do you really think they're going to do that? Police noted the couple appeared to have been deceased for some time, with Arakawa showing signs of decomposition and mummification in her hands and feet. Very interesting. I might start asking Grok a lot of questions. Hello, where am I? Where are my bookmarks gone? Holy guacamole. Guacamole. Now I've got to find where I was up to. Sorry, guys, look away if you get motion sickness. Okay, where am I? Oh, here I'm around here somewhere. So that's very suspicious. Okay, so we're going to keep an eye on that one as well. Political agitators said, mark this prediction, the Greens will cease to be a force in Australian politics at the forthcoming election. One can only pray. Seriously. Comfy Friends said, I can't comprehend how anyone can be anything but one. This is why we will never understand the NPC mind. Okay, John Green said, it's baffling to me that some of you all see this stuff in your mind. You see it. The way your eyes see it. I always thought visualize meant thinking of the words, ideas and feelings associated with a thing, not actual visuals. I'm such a total 5 on this scale, I didn't know 1 to 4 existed. What? If you imagine an apple in your mind, you can see that apple in your mind, can't you? At least we're hoping you can. Some people can't even see it. They can't imagine the apple. They cannot visualize it in their mind. I didn't know, like I kind of did. I've heard of this over the years, but really, I didn't realise that there were many people at all who cannot visualise anything. Some people can only visualise the shape. Some only in black and white, maybe. Some a red apple. I can see all different kinds of apples. It depends on which one I'm looking at in my head. If I want a pink lady, I can imagine exactly what a pink lady apple looks like. If I want a Granny Smith apple, I know exactly what colour a Granny Smith, and I can imagine exactly what it looks like. But this is very interesting. How have we got people who can't see anything in their mind's eye? I don't get it. Anyway, that was just something odd I thought I'd bookmark. Libs of TikTok said breaking DOD just issued a sweeping memo to strengthen our military. It states that those with gender dysphoria are incompatible with the high mental and physical standards necessary for military service. Finally, I'm clapping over here. Service members who have gender dysphoria are disqualified from military service. Service members who took cross-sex hormones or sex change surgery are disqualified from military service. Make our military great again, and I am envious. I want it over here in Australia. Then we had this. What was that? Probably the Epstein list coming out. What do you think? Oh, Oh, my goodness. Juanita Broderick said you have to wonder, are there a load of private jets leaving the country tonight? Interesting. Laura Loomis said, don't get your hopes up for tomorrow. You have to understand the art of the red meat one-liner to learn how to temper your expectations. It's not going to all come out at once. Remember the drip, drip flood? Yeah, it's still going. The Yorkshire lass said President Trump is everywhere on MSN here in the UK. Back in the day, this wouldn't happen and fake news would try to take Trump down with lies. Now they have no other choice to report the amazing things he's doing for his country. Our time is coming. I've got my fingers crossed for you, UK people. Honestly, and I have my fingers crossed for us here in Australia, Canada, all of them. Elon Musk said this is why it had to be done. Okay, let's have a little listen.
Thank you, Elon.
Thank you, Mr. President. I actually just call myself a humble tech support here because this is actually, as crazy as it sounds, that is almost a literal description of the work that the Doge team is doing, is helping fix the government computer systems. Many of these systems are extremely old. They don't communicate. There are a lot of mistakes in the systems. The software doesn't work. So we are actually tech support. It's ironic, but it's true. The overall goal here with the Doge team is to help address the enormous deficit. We simply cannot sustain as a country $2 trillion deficits. The interest rates, just the interest on the national debt, now exceeds the Defense Department spending. We spend a lot on the Defense Department, but we're spending like over $1 trillion on interest. If this continues, the country will become de facto bankrupt. It's not an optional thing, it is an essential thing. That's the reason I'm here. And taking a lot of flack, and getting a lot of death threats, by the way. I mean, I like to stack them up, you know. But if we don't do this, America will go bankrupt. That's why it has to be done. I'm confident at this point, knock on wood, you know, knock on my wooden head, there's got a lot of wood up there, that we can actually find $1 trillion in savings.
There you go. You should see the waste in the computer software, software I think it is. Topher Fields said the paper tiger is blowing away in the wind. Now that USAID and other funding has been pulled, we're seeing the progressives evaporate before our eyes. TV shows are being cancelled everywhere we look. NGOs and think tanks are falling silent. Grassroots protest movements are being revealed to have been astroturfed the whole time. It's not even close. A majority of people want lower taxes, less government intervention in their lives, and to live and let live. The silent majority is real, and it's a majority without question. The reason that wasn't already obvious was the fabrication of the other side using taxpayers' money to create a paper tiger, which is all the left activists. Okay, Joe said this is the reality of life right now in the UK. We know it's bad, we know it's hard, we know it's depressing. But Katie says it's not until you experience life outside the UK that you truly understand how bad it is. Let's have a listen to Katie. I like Katie.
How when you step outside the UK, you realise how hard it is being in the UK. So just to preface that, I see that we realise it's hard here. I see that we read stories showing that the law isn't the law, that we are treated differently depending on our political affiliation, or I don't know what colour we are or what religion we are or whatever reasons the law is not the law. All the sort, the cost of everything, the energy bills that are just going up again for another 20 million people, Thames Water being allowed to increase the amount it charges by 5 times. So we know the stories of, yes, Katie, we realise it's hard right now in the UK and it's been more or less grey for 3 months. I know you think it's hard, but it's not until you leave and gasp air and you look around at what a normal functioning society looks like, it really slams you. And then my other big realisation through a number of conversations that I've been feeling for a long time, and this is the documentary waiting to be made. This is the news that should be being reported, that someone could be jumping on and they're not, because no one gets it, because they don't feel it, because they're not amongst ordinary people. People are desperate to leave the UK. If you're a worker, or if you've got children, I'm not speaking for anyone else, but you're desperate to get out. And I'm bumping into those people all the time, selling up and just wanting to get out. Unsure of how that will work, unsure of where to go, unsure of how to make that okay, unsure about visas or how long they can stay or anything. They just know they will not leave their kids in the UK. And that leads me to something else, which is, there's good and bad in this, but you know, it's all very well people fighting for their country. We're going to stand up and fight for the country. It is a much bigger problem to have. Keir Starmer's trying to crush people that want to stand up for the country. He is going to have a much bigger problem when the people who are relied upon to work, to look after their families, to try hard, to pay taxes, to pay for everyone else. He's going to have a much bigger problem when those people stop wanting to fight for their country and leave.
Oh shit, that was loud at the end there. Sorry, guys. That bloody TikTok thing, it's always really loud. Oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, so that sounds like Australia, pretty much. So I feel really sorry for the UK people and Australians and Canadians and everyone Irish, you know, German, all the people. Clint Russell said Tulsi just fired every NSA employee that participated in that creepy group chat, over 100 people. She's not messing around. Love it. Wait till you hear this one. This was weird. Let me just make sure the volume's low enough.
Thank you, Jesse. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you, too. Not so good to see some of these transgender sex chats among the intel officials. What are we going to do about that?
Well, Jesse, what we're going to do has already been done. There are over 100 people from across the intelligence community that contributed to and participated in this, what is really just an egregious violation of trust, what to speak of like basic rules and standards around professionalism. I put out a directive today that they all will be terminated and their security clearances will be revoked. But the thing here, Jesse, is like we got to take a step back because this is just barely scratching the surface. When you see what these people were saying, and thanks to Chris Rufo for putting it all out online, they were brazen in using an NSA platform intended for professional use to conduct this kind of really horrific behavior. And they were brazen in doing this because when was the last time anyone was really held accountable? Certainly not over the last 4 years, certainly not over the last 10, maybe 20 years when we look at some of the biggest violations of the American people's trust in the intelligence community. So today's action in holding these individuals accountable is just the beginning of what we're seeing across the Trump administration, which is carrying out the mandate the American people gave him. Clean house, root out that rot and corruption and weaponization and politicization so we can start to rebuild that trust in these institutions that are charged with an important mission of serving the American people, ensuring our safety, security, and freedom.
Well, there's going to be a lot of house cleaning because now we're hearing CIA agents don't like getting Doge, so they're going to...
Oh, CIA agents now. Okay. That was because the NSA got caught in a group chat talking about all weird fetishes and transgender stuff and, oh, my God. Anyway. Yep, I'm sure a lot of them are going to get caught. And they were using NSA, like their official government things to do it, you know. Lee Harris said in a couple of days, J.D. Vance will be confronting Keir Starmer. He's there now. Senator Gerard Rennick said, what is Albanese hiding? Last year, I successfully got the Senate to pass 2 motions for the production of documents. The first asked for the Albanese government to provide the business case to justify federal taxpayers spending $100 million on a road maintained by the New South Wales state government that just happened to lead to Albanese's new beach house. The reply from Albanese was that the business case was done by the New South Wales government and they didn't have it. The second motion passed by the Senate then requested all correspondence between New South Wales and the federal government regarding the road, including the business case prepared by the New South Wales government. Albanese again refused to hand over the documents in defiance of Senate orders. If you thought the deal looked shady to begin with, it looks downright putrid now. It shows the contempt Albanese treats the Australian public that he could drop $100 million of taxpayer money to impress his girlfriend. It would take more than that for him to impress me. And he doesn't even try and pretend he's covering up his corruption. It's just another example of just how immoral our politicians have become. And there's a whole 2 minutes of it in there. Here's another one, good one to follow on YouTube. Senator Gerard Rennick, Senator James Patterson, Senator Babbitt. There's a few of them. Robin Minotti said Georgescu released. The Romanian people were going to enact a revolution, so the NATO puppets had no choice because they arrested Georgescu. Well done, Romanians. You have the power, not NATO. And apparently he's the winning person in Romania, and they tried to arrest him. I think because he's right-wing. Clandestine said, just to be clear, AG Bondi said we will see some information about Epstein, then hopefully tomorrow. Manage your expectations accordingly. I would wager that this class program will be spaced out in digestible chunks as opposed to releasing everything at once. I understand many of you hate this idea and want everything right away, but I doubt that will be the case. And Bondi's comments about some of the information seems to suggest that is the most likely scenario. Ultimately, my position is to wait and see what we get, and then we can react to it accordingly. I trust Trump and his team have a detailed plan on how they want to go about releasing this information for maximum exposure and public understanding. There is method to the madness. That's not the only thing. I believe that there's probably ongoing criminal investigations right now and reasons why they can't release certain parts of it yet. But we'll find out. Green Lives Matter said, so which false flag are they bringing out tomorrow now that Epstein names are going to be dropped? Well, it seems that they're the same names we already know. It's the flight logs. Real as Patriot said, the amount of reeing I'm seeing from our side is borderline intolerable. We all want to see it all and have justice served, and we will, I have no doubt. But for those of you who believe we've been witnessing the greatest military operation in history, then you must understand that the process of declass was mapped out long ago and there'll be no deviations from that plan. There must be specific reasons for what comes out first and in what order. The timeline is what is best for our country, and in order to put all these monsters away, they also can't do anything that is going to hurt the investigation, okay? Compromise it. They cannot do that right now. Things are moving quickly. A snowball rolling down a mountain gets bigger and faster and faster, and it can't be stopped. Temper your emotions and expectations as far as how quickly things happen. Nothing can stop what's coming. And I can see it too on the right. I see a lot of people on the right going, we want it all. What do you... Anyway, it's going to come how it's going to come out. Catherine Deeves-Morgan here in Australia says Sydney appears to have run out of women. Brianna Skinner, retail worker, chili eater and volunteer for independent MP Alec Greenwich, wins Local Woman of the Year award. Sydney Local Woman of the Year is a man. Brianna Brett Skinner has just been named Sydney Local Woman of the Year by independent MP Alex Greenwich. Yes, the same bloke who gave us sex self-ID in New South Wales. Great. Oh, my God. Yeah, I don't care about this person. Certainly not a woman. I care about them being named Woman of the Year when they're not. Jeez Louise. Jessica said, Trump, most importantly, Secretary Turner, will say grace and then we'll have our meeting. Incredible. President Trump opened his first cabinet meeting by asking HUD Secretary Scott Turner to pray over their meeting. Every major news network had to air a prayer in Jesus' name. Way to go, mate. Way to go. Okay, let's have a listen.
And a couple of people say a few things, but most importantly, where are you? This is a gentleman who's going places, the head of HUD, and he's going to say, you all know him, and you're going to say grace, and then we'll have our meeting, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Let's pray. Father, we thank you for this awesome privilege, Father, to be in your presence. God, thank you that you've allowed us to see this day. The Bible says that your mercies are new every morning. And Father God, we give you the glory and the honor. Thank you, God, for President Trump, Father, for appointing us. Father God, thank you for anointing us to do this job. Father, we pray you'll give the president, the vice president wisdom, Father God, as they lead. Father, I pray for all of my colleagues that are here around the table and in this room. Lord God, we pray that we would lead with a righteous clarity. Father God, that as we serve the people of this country in every prospective agency, every job that we have, Father, we would humble ourselves before you, and we would lead in the manner that you've called us to lead and to serve. Father, the Bible says that blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. Well, Father, we today honor you, and in your rightful place, Father, thank you for giving us this opportunity to restore faith in this country and be a blessing to the people of America. And Lord God, today in our meeting, we pray that you would be glorified in our conversation. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. There you go. Prayer before. Start doing it every day so it's all over American TV every day. Concerned citizens said Doge just blocked a $52 million payment to the World Economic Forum. This was on the 27th. That was yesterday. Stephen said, what do you call a group of misandrists who've never had a real job? Labor ministers. Oh, dear God, can someone please kick these feminists out? Jesus. Oh, my God. You should see it. If you watch James Patterson on YouTube, he was questioning Penny Wong yesterday, and oh, my goodness. When I say that I really wanted to slap someone, I'm kidding, of course. I'm not going to slap anyone. It was just a, what do you call it? A term of speech, But honestly, you should go and watch it. James Patterson questioning the ladies in our government, and they have no freaking idea, none of them. They're going to take it all on board, whatever that means. They're going to tell them later, in other words. Every question they get asked, we'll take that on board, we'll take that on board, we'll take that on board. You should see it. It's insane. I don't know how any of them have a job at all. I want Doge now to go into our government and ask them what they did last week. 5 bullet points, thank you. Mick Amias said maybe there's hope after all in seeing the minor parties come together. The People's King Elvis said Freedom Coalition, how it started and how it's going. Fingers crossed we get a great result. You got the Libertarian Party. What's this one? Freedom Update Libertarian. People's First and the Heart Party. Okay, Family First as well has joined. We're still waiting on Trumpet of Patriots and Pauline Hanson's One Nation. I think everyone should just join the Trumpet Patriots. So all these people should just jump on the Trumpet Patriots if they believe that they should, that we should follow Trump. But there is hope, guys. There's hope. Some of them are willing to work together. Okay, Elon Musk said the only way to restore the rule of the people in America is to impeach judges. No one's above the law, including judges. This is what it took to fix El Salvador. Same applies to America. Nayib Bukele said, fun fact, checks and balances don't truly exist unless the judicial branch can also be checked and balanced. El Salvador lawmakers sacked top prosecutor judges. There you go. It's got to be done. When it's got to be done, it's got to be done. You can't have judges going in and stopping every president from doing anything, or you don't have a government if that's the case. Okay, let's get onto this bullshit woman. Feminist, lesbian, I don't know. Man, possibly. Kate said this says everything about your government and your foreign minister. This is our foreign minister, mind you. Penny Wong failed to meet Israeli representatives on a UN trip late last year where she demanded the Jewish homeland halt its military actions against terror group Hamas and Hezbollah, instead sitting down with Iran, the Palestinian Authority, and ex-New Zealand leader Jacinda Ardern. She failed to meet with Israeli representatives at a UN summit but held court with Iran and Palestine. This woman's a traitor to the Australian people. in a big way. I think she's a plant. I think she's an infiltrator. That's just my opinion, though. Libs of TikTok said this is MSNBC's newest anchor. Oh, dear God. Just out of these two pictures, I can see it's already going to be a disaster for MSNBC, but let them go. Never disturb the enemy while they're sinking themselves. The opinionated black woman auntie said, don't worry, nothing to see here, they're just cutting laps. 3 CCP warships now sailing past Tasmania, and we've got people wondering, normally when this happens, they've got subs as well underneath, okay? CCP warships have re-entered Australia's exclusive economic zone amid claims Beijing is practicing and rehearsing. I don't think they need to do much. They can just activate their people here and Australia's gone. Lauren said, F and hell, Nutella's fucked. Oh, so they're going to celebrate Ramadan, okay? Nutella? Would they celebrate Australia Day the same way? I don't think so. Okay, Christine Anderson said, with all due respect, Mr. President, real Donald Trump, I disagree with you on this one. Disclosed TV said, now Trump, the European Union was formed in order to screw the United States. That's the purpose of it. Well, Christine Anderson would like to disagree. The EU was not formed to screw the United States. The EU was formed to screw the people of Europe. The US, just like every country, is screwed by an liberal globalist cabal. Allow me to explain. The EU was a necessary interim step to make Europeans more accepting of the idea of being ruled by a globalist government. In other countries, such as the United States, the globalists simply had to infiltrate the governments to implement the globalist, illiberal agenda to screw the respective peoples in these countries. The way the Biden administration was run should prove my point. In virtually every Western democracy, the governments are fighting their own people and abolish freedom, democracy, and the rule of law to benefit the globalists in their agenda to ultimately erect a globalitarian regime. Governments and democracies must serve their people and their people alone. Mr. President, you're indeed serving the American people and serving their best interest. I just wish my government would do the same. Don't we all? Okay, Daisy May said legendary Hollywood star Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy, found dead. Senator Babette said a Christian king and a defender of the faith should uphold Christian traditions. Why is he participating in Ramadan and Iftar instead of honouring Easter? Stay true to the faith, Christ is king. The UK is no longer a nation worth maintaining ties with, says Senator Babette. We must instead forge stronger partnerships with countries that align with our values and Australian future direction. We must look to the United States. Well, I agree with that. The royal family. Packing dates at Darjeeling Express. Traditionally, dates are eaten as the first food to break the fast at sunset during Ramadan. Their Majesties help pack dates that will be sent to local hospitals for iftar during Holy Month. You can't do anything with your own people, but you're going to do this. They're all celebrating Ramadan. Well, how about we send them all over to India to celebrate Ramadan? All of them. Like Nutella, the company, send them over there. Send these two over there. Let them live in India. Go. See you later. Jeez. Prue McSween said, so the lawyer of the female nurse who threatened on social media to kill Israeli patients is blaming trial by social media. Yes, it's ironic that when asked about treating a Jewish patient, this woman used social media to clearly say, I won't treat him, I will kill him. Meanwhile, the Bolshe male nurse continues to avoid being police interviewed due to mental illness. Yes, that old chestnut. I guess that if you express such sentiments on social media, you'd have to be pretty sick. Eventually, he's going to have to reveal himself and face the music. People can hide but cannot run from the consequences of their actions. Yeah, both nurses are just outright cowards. They've showed their hand at being terrorists, pretty much. David Santacala said 2 federal judges have just demanded President Trump unfreeze billions in foreign aid. Their names? Judge Lauren Ali Khan and Judge Amir Ali. I'm very interested as to why they're judges in the first place. DEI at all? Wire said police just seized over 120 terabytes of child essay material in California, and police in Arizona have arrested hundreds of individuals in connection with a child trafficking operation that allowed predators to purchase children for essay. Well, thank God some of them are caught. Yeah, have arrested hundreds of individuals. Thank God for that. Okay. Now, this is a whole thing, okay? Sun Tzu War said, I'm going to read these first. I have huge concerns about rising anti-Semitism on the right and how it's going to impact and drive the narrative as it relates to fighting back against child trafficking. I'm observing a troubling trend on social media reflected in 80% of the comments under my post I made last night as an experiment. I simply asked, why is there so much anti-Semitism on the right lately? And the responses from many on the right have been alarming. Many of those commenting stand with us against child trafficking, but I'm troubled by how often these valid concerns are being conflated with baseless, harmful stereotypes about Jewish people and Israel. Many of the comments equate the actions of the Israeli deep state with all Israelis, painting an entire nation and people as the enemy. No, it's not. It is those who say they're Jewish but are not, which is the heads of them. Not all Jewish people are bad. This failure to distinguish between corrupt individuals or groups and their broader Israeli population, many of whom are patriots, defending their homeland, is not only inaccurate but dangerous, and the fact that it's been tied to the anti-child trafficking movement is dangerous. This narrative pushes away reasonable voices and hands the deep state a narrative that portrays the right as an extremist hate group. As we move into 2025, my concern is that we're losing the broader fight for truth and justice by allowing anti-Semitic rhetoric to take root even among those who share our goals. My concern is the fight against trafficking is being hijacked by hatred for Jews and sloppy generalizations. Israel, like any nation, has its complexities, patriots, political challenges, and individuals who abuse power. But equating all of Israel or all Jewish people with a deep state undermines our credibility and distracts from the real issues we are fighting against. I personally am going to challenge these narratives when I see them and continue to express my concerns about the dangers of anti-Semitism. I think we would all agree that many of the elite that are on top of the food chain are what the Apostle Paul, himself a Jew, would call Judaizers in the house of Satan. They are the ones who are dictating the child trafficking cartels all over the world, and many of them are in fact Jewish. Nevertheless, too many on the right desire to associate all Jews with them when nothing could be further from the truth. It's a dangerous belief that's infecting the right and bleeding into America First platforms, and it concerns me. And this is the question he asked, why is there so much anti-Semitism on the right lately? I don't hate the Jewish people. I hate the people who say they're Jews, but I believe are not, as well as people who say they're Christian and are not. Tripp said, the failure of our elected leaders to call out the deep state of Israel is what troubles me the most. Epstein was clearly working for Israel. There are Mossad fingerprints all over 9/11, and I would bet my left nut that David Ben-Gurion asked James Jesus Angleton of the CIA to take out JFK. Calling out the bad actors does not make someone anti-Semitic or anti-Israel, but the unwillingness by our leaders to speak the truth is concerning. And Sun Tzu agreed 100%. That's why Israel lasts. But I agree with that. I do agree that I agree with both of them. You can't, it's like, okay, Australia's pretty corrupt, right? But it's like saying that all Australians are corrupt. And that's not true. Same as the Jewish people. Not all the Jewish people are corrupt. And they have the same fight as we do in Australia, as you do in America, as you in the UK. They're fighting a deep state in their own country. Sorry, I'm going to cough, guys. 1 sec. I'm going to mute. Okay, now here in Australia, Stephen Chavura said, I grew up in Sydney's Bankstown region from 1986 onwards. Muslims danced in the street after 9/11. A Muslim boy in history 1 week started yelling, I hate Jews. The scaff rape gang considered all Anglo girls sluts. In nearby suburbs, Women who walked streets on their own were called sluts and intimidated. Prior to fighting off a gang of late teenage boys at Bankstown Square, they asked me what I thought of Muhammad. Middle Eastern boys terrorised everyone in Bankstown. This is a suburb in Sydney. Multiculturalism has allowed large Islamic communities to develop, whose cultural dynamic is opposed to so much that characterises Anglo-Australia. So many people in these communities hate us. Multiculturalism is to society what cancer is to organisms. Abolishing multiculturalism and reaffirming our Anglo heritage and culture is the first of many steps that must be taken to stop Australia from becoming an Islam-afflicted hell like France, Germany, England, Belgium, Sweden and the Netherlands. We can do it, but it takes courage and love for this country. As dozens of school children rallied outside a Western Sydney school demanding the return of a staff member who was stood down because he defended the Sydney nurses. Yeah, leave your third world shit in the Middle East. We don't want it here. Doesn't matter who you are. Okay? Jesus. Awakened Outlaw said, even as a grizzled veteran of Operation Rug Pull, I'm fairly confident we will manage to see some legit Epstein-related info tomorrow. Will it be everything? No, not even close. I'm going to have a sip of my cup of coffee. Hang on. Okay. Aside from some of it being tied to ongoing investigations and therefore can't be shared, you'd want to let it out a little at a time to extend past a news cycle or two. Remember, this isn't, in my opinion, for those of us who already know, not really, although the confirmation will be nice. I think this is more about waking John and Jane Doe citizen. Yeah, finally, someone said it. Having confirmation from the DOJ that these people listed made trips to Pedo Island tars and feathers them as pedos themselves in the mind of the public. And that's a big first step for many given the names that will be revealed. You simply can't take new eyes from 0 to 1,000 miles per hour out of the gate. And I agree. Yeah, I do agree. This has to be, it's drip, drip, flood. That's what we're seeing with the normal people, okay, the normies. Jen Kay said the UK used to be a happy place where people got to live their lives in peace and everyone got on with each other. Bills were reasonably low, people had money in their pockets and were encouraged to better themselves. Then the politicians stepped in and decided this was not what they wanted and just ruined everything for everyone. Most politicians are not good people, just in case you don't know. As long as they have plenty of money in their pockets, that's all they care about. It would be lovely to get that same country back. Yeah, everyone supports you, UK, to take your country back. And this is the actual footage of the Bankstown school. Mick Amias said the answer to this problem is really simple. One-way ticket out of Australia. If you don't love Australia, your loyalty is not here, and you want to support foreign causes, wars, pack your bags, leave and don't come back. It's that simple. Zero tolerance. Okay, I think this is going to be loud, so I'm going to turn it down a bit. Are you ready for this garbage? Okay, all teachers in this school, if they're, well, I think the teachers need to be deported as well. I can guarantee you they're brainwashing the kids as well in the school. Okay, not only that, the whole community has been taken over. Seriously. There's many communities, there's many suburbs like this in Sydney. There are many, many more than just one that are full of this. okay, where Western women cannot walk down the street. If you do, you will be accosted, you will be probably spit on, you will certainly be verbally abused, if not abused in any other way. I don't know. But you can't walk down the street in certain places in Sydney, in certain suburbs. Awakened Outlaw said many people who still hold Barack in high esteem have absolutely no idea what's coming back around the bend here. This one's going to blow their damn minds when it all drops publicly. Operation Cloud Piven Manchurian Candidate. First, how did Obama get into Columbia? In those days, there were virtually no college transfers accepted at Columbia. Only the number one student at Harvard might have had a shot. Maybe. But Barack was a lousy student coming from a mediocre college, Occidental. So how did he transfer into Ivy League Columbia in 1981? It was literally impossible. I've always believed the only way Obama could have been admitted to Columbia was as a foreign exchange student. Columbia University loved letting in students from exotic countries like Indonesia, where Obama grew up. It was a fast-track way to gain acceptance into Columbia, which is fine except for the fact that if Obama claimed Indonesian citizenship to get into Columbia University, then he was never qualified to serve as President of the United States. Secondly, how did he graduate when he was never there? We were all in the same classes as pre-law and political science majors, yet I never saw him once. Neither did any classmate I've ever spoken to. Neither did any professor I've ever spoken to. Obama was literally the ghost of Columbia. He was probably given one of those honorary degrees like Bill Gates was. That's what I'm thinking. I've always believed he was either a CIA plant who was given a Columbia University degree without ever stepping foot on campus, or he spent his 2 years at Columbia's sister school in Moscow studying Communism 101. Wayne Root, all roads lead to Obama. He's the evil Manchurian candidate and communist mastermind of everything bad that has happened to America and President Trump. And I'm a witness. It all started at Columbia University. Ooh. Interesting. Obama says Trump has a history that needs to be examined. Occidental College records of his sealed. Columbia College records are sealed. Columbia thesis papers sealed. Harvard College records are sealed. Selective service registrations sealed. His medical records are sealed. His Illinois State Senate schedule is sealed. The Illinois State Senate records are sealed. Law practice client list is sealed. Certified copy of original birth certificate is sealed. Signed embossed paper certification of live birth is sealed. Baptism record is sealed. Michelle Obama can no longer practice law as an attorney. Why? Michelle has 22 assistants when other first ladies had only one. Professor Henry Graff said, I taught at Columbia for 46 years. I taught every significant American politician that ever studied at Columbia. I know them all. I'm proud of them all. Between American history and diplomatic history, one way or another, they all had to come through my classes. Not Obama. I never had a student with that name in any of my classes. I never met him, never saw him, never heard of him. None of the other Columbia professors knew him either. How interesting. Can't wait for more of that to come out. I'm literally on the edge of my seat. Senator Babette said that only works when I have the camera on because I had a very straight face. Okay, Senator Babette said a new Telly research poll has revealed that if a federal election were held today, both the Coalition and Labor would need the support of a party like the Trumpets of Patriot to govern. The poll posed the question, would you vote for a party with Trump-like policies? The results showed strong national support. 34% in Brisbane said yes. 25% in Sydney said yes. Come on, Sydney, we can do better than that. Melbourne said 29% said yes. Adelaide said 26% yes. And there's a few unshores in there. Come on, you unshores. Let's do it. Let's get Sydney to 45%. Let's get it over 50. Hell, why not? Trumpet of Patriots chairman and spokesperson Clive Palmer said the poll results demonstrated that Australians are looking for a strong, common-sense approach to reinvigorate the nation. Australia needs decisive leadership and policies that would put the country first, Mr. Palmer said. Trump-like policies are essential to securing Australia's future. That is exactly what the Trumpet of Patriots will deliver. And this is Trumpet of Patriots Sue Ellen Wrightson, party leader. Okay? And people are saying in the comments, you need to unite or we're not going anywhere. I'm happy with the name of it. I don't care. Trumpet of Patriots. Why not? Better than the bloody Liberal Democrats. Elon Musk said if any judge anywhere can block every presidential order everywhere, we do not have a democracy. We have tyranny of the judiciary. So these judges cannot do what they're trying to do by blocking Trump or making him pay US aid. They can't do it. Australian Patriots said from another group, call a double dissolution election now. This is now becoming an emergency situation. The destruction of our economy, the destruction of our society, the destruction of our ability to defend ourselves as a nation. Deceitful Albanese, disgusting Wong, brainless Bowen, and the low-life teal-green Labor stooges that support them are wrecking our country deliberately out of spite so that our children and grandchildren will never be able to fix the destruction they leave behind. We need a double dissolution election now so that we can get rid of deceitful Albanese and the teal-green Labor stooges that are deliberately destroying our country. All of them. No countries can survive being governed by people who hate it. And feminists at that, a bunch of feminists. Oh my God. Okay, Rox here was replying to Trump Barron News, which said what? Oh, okay, got it wrong. The first arrest will shock the world. No, first arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. The truth will shock the world. The enormity of what's coming will shock the world. First indictment unseal will trigger mass population awakening. First arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. They will fight, but you are ready. Mark a 9. They say the first arrest will shock the world. Hell, at this point, any arrest will shock us. Yep, monitoring the situation. Little kitty. Fluffy hopes at Starmer when he lands in America. No. I know. We all wish, that our prime ministers would be the one. Okay, Libs of TikTok said breaking lawsuit details insane corruption from New York Governor Kathy Hochul, where she rigged the bidding for a contract for Medicaid program, which is partially funded by the federal government. Doge should look into this. Definitely. Concerned citizens said Doge has already uncovered large sums of money spent on geoengineering operations. Expect Doge to find billions more on Bill Gates' associated projects, not just in America, but all over the world. Imagine still thinking this is normal. And if you think that's a normal flight path with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planes all going in the same direction, then I've got a bridge to sell you. Yep. There you go. This is not normal. God, this is what it does. It hazes. See the haze in the sky at the end there? That is what it does. It makes the sky hazy, less blue. You've got like a greyish sort of, or, it looks like pollution. It looks like pollution. That's what it is. Desiree said, has anyone checked on Bill Gates tonight? Might want to keep an eye on his flight logs just in case. And I think we've got a suicide weekend coming up. Don't know if it's this weekend or next weekend, but I think it's coming. In the next couple of weekends, we'll have quite a bit to report on. Stephen Freedom Warrior said Bill Gates discusses Robert Kennedy's book in which he accuses Gates and Fauci of deliberately trying to kill people with certain procedures. If fake, why isn't Bill and Fauci suing? Because we know why. Let's have a little listen. Where's my volume? Okay. Looks all right.
Well, he wrote a book saying that Tony Fauci and I kill millions of children and make billions of dollars with vaccines. And, people can judge for themselves whether that's correct or not. Well, he wrote a book saying that Tony Fauci...
We are judging for ourselves, and we know you have. But anyway, I'm judging. I know, okay? TPV said Trump orders FBI to investigate Bill Gates for blitzing America with toxic chemtrails. You've seen them. Those eerie geometric streaks crisscrossing the sky, unnaturally precise, a phenomena dismissed by mainstream media in their relentless gaslighting of humanity. Key members of the Trump administration have seen them too. They've been briefed by high-level investigators who've spent years uncovering the truth, and now they're ready to act. Their target? The elite masterminds behind the mass spraying of chemicals, aluminium, barium, toxins, poisoning our air, manipulating our weather, and tightening their grip on global control. But the real war isn't against the nameless operatives carrying out these crimes. It's against the untouchable overlords who believe they're beyond consequence. That illusion is crumbling. The people are waking up, the fury is boiling over, and the calls for justice are deafening. And they are. Let's go, Brandon. Actually, just let's go, Trump. Come on. Oh, dear. I'm not going through 18 minutes of that one, but anyway. Liz Churchill said the criminals that Bill Gates is who said they're collapsing. Who the fuck decided that any of these unelected snakes had any authority over anyone? Ooh. Yeah, getting a bit, you know. Haven't talked this much in days. I've had my granddaughter talking my ears off, so I didn't need to say much at all. Okay, take this with a grain of salt. Ariel, hot off the press. I guess you're all about to find out some things. This will cause a shaking like we've never seen before. Or will it end up being a whimper that has no real career upending consequences for those who have far too long escaped justice? Well, apparently we'll find out in 24 hours. Many are waiting on the edge of their seat. Many have also pre-selected who they want to see on the list. Others are just ready to see the perp walk of shame. Let's see what happens, shall we? And that was, yeah, well, there you go. Johnny St. Pete said this is why the Romanian president was arrested and how this ties to a stamping out Trumpism populism. Mike Benz explains how how weapons and arms are transferred to Romania over an air bridge to be used to supply Ukraine. NATO wanted to build the largest NATO base on the Black Sea in Romania. Romania has recently elected a Russian neutral party that wanted to end support to Ukraine. Pakistan has been so crucial for that last year. The State Department deposed Imran Khan, who should have been the Prime Minister of India. Ryan Routh, the man who made the attempt on Trump in Palm Beach, was recruiting for Ukraine in Pakistan. Follow the money and you will always find the fingerprints. Like I said last week, after losing a majority of their propaganda funding and influence, the remnants of a globalist attempt at an NWO will make the EU their last bastion to retain as much control as possible. This is what you are witnessing now in Romania. Well, they arrested the man and now they've released him. Oh, my goodness. Doge News said Nancy Pelosi's vineyard receives $14 million from USAID for experimental farming. This is an example of how a $174,000 salary turns into a $240 million net worth. Is it time for Doge to audit Pelosi? Yes. Oh, they put leadstories.com as, oh my God. Yeah, I'm not taking that fact check seriously, sorry. Craig Kelly said it looks like the people of Germany have been tricked and their election stolen by the globalists. Radio Genoa said CDU leader Friedrich Merz before and after the elections. How can the Germans not rebel against this miserable liar? Let's have a listen.
Ich werde im Fall meiner Wahl zum Bundeskanzler der Bundesrepublik Deutschland am ersten Tag meiner Amtszeit das Bundesinnenministerium im Wege der Richtlinienkompetenz des Bundeskanzlers anweisen, die deutschen Staatsgrenzen zu allen unseren Nachbarn dauerhaft zu kontrollieren und ausnahmslos alle Versuche der illegalen Einreise zurückzuweisen. Ich werde im Fall meiner Wahl noch mal einmal sehr deutlich sagen, niemand von uns spricht über Grenzschließungen. Niemand. Obwohl das im Wahlkampf streckenweise behauptet worden ist. Niemand von uns will die Grenzen schließen.
Okay, on one hand, he said that he was going to close the borders if he's elected Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany. And on the other hand, he said, no, even though it was claimed during the election process, no, we're not closing the borders. Okay? Just so you got that straight. From the same person. They all lie. I don't understand. When people... Oh, my God. Politicians lie, okay? As if you didn't know that. Newsflash. Department of Government Efficiency said the Social Security admin completed the same software audit and initial findings. 4 redundant survey tools ranging from $118K to $1.8 million per year. Paying for 10,000 UiPath licenses using only 5,011 of them. Paying for 20,600 Tableau licenses, only using 11,560, fixes in the work. Agencies often have more software licenses than employees, and the licenses are often idle, i.e. paid for but not installed on any computer. For example, at GSA, with 13,000 employees, there are 3,700 WinZip licenses. Why? Nearly 3 times the amount. Why? Are they taking them home and using them on their personal computers as well? 19,000 training software subscription and multiple parallel training software platforms. 7,500 project management software seats for a division with 5,500 employees. And 3 different ticketing systems running in parallel. Jesus Christ, what a waste of money. Oh my God, I heard one about Microsoft. Like they're using Microsoft, but half of it's sitting idle as well. They pay for it. Anyway, George said Rudy Giuliani just scored a massive victory against the lawfare forces that tried to extort $150 million from him for fighting the stolen 2020 election. Giuliani will now get to keep his Manhattan apartment, his condo in Palm Beach, and his personal belongings. According to court filings, he has fully satisfied the judgment against him. That case should never have been bought. It was lawfare to take down one of the most courageous and loyal MAGA men out there. These 2 witches, Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shay Moss, wanted to take everything from Rudy. The only way to truly vindicate him is to thoroughly investigate the 2020 election fraud and these 2 women, I'd say. Alex James, update on potential Freedom Coalition. Okay, I've done that. Leilani Dowling said guest vets have been asked to push dog jabs. Had a very polite call from my vet saying there are no record of Milo's vaccinations. He's 17. I said yes, that's because he's not had one since he was about 10 weeks old, and his sister nearly died from a reaction. He's made it to 17. He's very healthy, so I'll stay that way. Oh, God, love the little Milo. Cutie. Looks like a baby seal's face. Oh, he's so cute. Yeah, so be wary of your veterinarians as well. Cash Lauren said a peace deal has been reached. Yes, we've read that. Sorry, I have bookmarked some things twice. Senator Babette said, you look like an idiot with your unhinged Trump derangement syndrome. We need to make asylums great again. Join the movement. Okay, let's have a listen to this one.
Now, how infected by Trump derangement syndrome must some in this place be when they want to spend valuable time not debating the important issues, but arguing that a democratically elected president...
Okay, I'm going to have to read this because there's music in the background. Okay, president is a danger to Australia and the world. Let's have the argument, shall we? President Trump has insisted that there are only 2 genders, male and female. Well, he's right. President Trump has insisted that sovereign nations must secure their borders, and this is a threat to the free world. If I visit any of the homes of the woke leftists in his country tonight, will I find their front doors wide open so that anyone can come through? Of course not. They double lock their front doors while bleating on about secure national borders being immoral. There you go. That's one of our politicians here in Australia. The Yorkshire lass said, I wonder what kind of welcome Keir Starmer will get on Thursday. Macron has just arrived at the White House and Trump was not there to greet him. I'd make sure all doors were locked on Thursday and make that little scrout's wait and sweat. Well, he didn't. He did turn up and, yeah, Keir Starmer looked like a little boy. Concerned citizens said Trump usually greets all world leaders at the White House presidential door. The fact that he doesn't meet French President And WEF shill Emmanuel Macron tells you all you need to know. And Vince Langman said, seriously, what the fuck did Emmanuel Macron marry? We are yet to confirm exactly what that is. Macron and Zelensky. You ready? Here's Zelensky, right? Macron. I can't play the music. Zelensky. Couldn't be more gay if they tried. Macron. Zelensky. Macron. I think. Zelensky. Macron. I don't know. Is it? Oh, he looks like he's got one of those flock of seagulls haircuts. Oh, my God. Really? Yeah, totally gay. Totally gay. Groomed, in fact. Oh, dear God. That is hilarious, actually. Concerned citizens said for a split second Emmanuel Macron confused President Trump for his own wife. Easy mistake to make, I guess. They're both much older men. Look, he touches Trump's leg. Trump's going to get your fucking hand off me leg, mate. Elon Musk said it's always the spouse. Libs of TikTok said bombshell. Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, LBRY, backed legislation that funneled millions to his wife's environmental non-profit, Ocean Conservancy. Watch the wives, anyone? She's been paid, because look at Clinton. Bill Clinton was the president and Hillary Clinton had the Clinton Foundation. She's been paid nearly $2.7 million while the group raked in $14.2 million plus in federal grants, funded by bills White House voted for. Now, an ethics watchdog is calling for an investigation into this blatant corruption. Yeah, go for it, guys. Investigate all of it. The Ash Man said if you want to know how stupid Australians have become, some people are defending Chinese warships firing live ammunition 200 miles off our coast. We're at the bottom of the world, for fuck's sake. People are seriously so fucking dumb. Okay, now, this is one I got. This is one where I wanted to slap someone. No, I was kidding. Oh, I really was kidding. I don't really want to slap anyone, guys. Francie Nancy said Albanese may have misled Australians when he said China gave notice about the live firing exercise, when in fact we only found out from the Virgin pilot after it had begun. As James Patterson surmised, it's not really notification of an upcoming exercise if we only find out after it has commenced, is it? Let's have a listen.
When did Defence first learn of the activity?
We were first notified of it by Air Services on the morning of the event.
Right. Senator McKenzie will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Air Services has testified that they learnt from a Virgin pilot and that they were notified half an hour after the commencement of the live firing exercise. Does that mean Defence first learned of it only via Air Services Australia and Virgin half an hour after it commenced?
I think just to be clear, and I'm not entirely sure of the characterisation of what the Virgin aircraft heard, whether that was the firing window, so the part of the security call that I understand the Chinese vessels indicated a firing window. So that would be normal practice. I think for the event on that Friday morning, we understand the Chinese were advising a firing window from 9:30 till 3 p.m. I'm using Canberra time, if I may, Senator, for it. So the Virgin aircraft may have heard it inside the firing window, but that may not have been at the time that the vessels were conducting the firing.
Yes, but so as I understand it, Air Services Australia told Senator McKenzie on Monday night that the Virgin pilot reported to Air Services Australia at 9:58 a.m. The firing window, as you say, commenced at 9:30.
Yes.
So is it the case that Defence was only notified via Virgin and Air Services Australia 28 minutes after the firing window commenced?
Yes.
Right. So this is an important development because the Prime Minister and the Defence Minister and others have said that either that the notification from our Chinese friends was not adequate or not sufficient, but it actually seems, in fact,
there was no notification at all prior to the commencement of the firing exercise.
So, to our knowledge, the notification was that call that had made from when the firing window opened, and that, in our view, is inadequate notification as well.
That's not inadequate. It's after it started.
Well, that's when the civil aircraft heard the call. We can't be definitive on whether there was a call made by the Chinese vessels earlier than that. So, as I'm sure, Senator, you appreciate, aircraft operate with the range of their radios depend on where the aircraft is and where the transmitter is. So there may have been earlier calls made from the vessels that the Virgin aircraft had not heard.
I understand that, but what's the value of a notification if it's not received, if it's not heard? The government's been very clear that the notification was not timely, that it should have been earlier. But you're now telling me that notification was not received, at least, by Defence, by Australia, until after it commenced. That's not any notification at all, is it?
No.
Okay. Well, that's contrary to the evidence that the Prime Minister and other senior ministers have given publicly.
Penny Wong actually said that both were true, that they both, yes, received warning, and no, they didn't receive warning. If you watch the whole thing... And I believe Deb did. Yeah, she watched the whole total debacle. Yes, I did too. And honestly, if you watch the whole thing, it's up on my post tab on YouTube. If you watch the whole thing, Penny Wong says both are correct at the same time, that we were given notice and that we weren't given notice. And you should, honestly, she needs to be fired. She needs to get out of there. She needs to get...
Did Defence first learn of the...
She needs to get parked right out there. Okay, so Macquarie University has not been immune from extremely questionable practice in recent years, are back in the media with their reference to white Australians as settlers. That is insulting enough, but this appears to also insult our Indigenous community. It closes by exploring Indigenous futurisms, how Indigenous people are already both imagining and practising a decolonialised Australia, including through digital media, queer identities and science fiction. Seriously? What the fuck? Mate, they're off with the fairies, a lot of them. The unit provides an overview and critical analysis of Indigenous settler politics in Australia. Students will develop a nuanced, critically informed understanding of settler colonialism as a political structure and explore how it manifests through both policy and institutional cultures in Australia. The unit then turns to practices of decolonialisation, unpacking the role of political protests, land claims and non-Indigenous allies in moving towards justice in the context of settler colonialism. It closes by exploring Indigenous futurisms, how Indigenous people are already both imagining and practising a decolonised Australia, including through digital media, queer identities and science fiction. Did you get that? That's fucking crazy. Okay, George Free said Australians mourn Hezbollah terrorist leader in violation of anti-terrorism laws. Sky News host Sherry Markson exposes Australians who travelled to Lebanon to attend the funeral of former Hezbollah leader Nasser Nasrallah. They posted it to all social media showing open support of terrorism in violation of anti-terrorism laws. They should be kicked out. How many arrests were made? Yeah, exactly, in Melbourne. To this. Dozens of masked men filmed waving Hezbollah flags chanting death to Jews in Melbourne, Australia. Great, that's all you need. Rosetta Diaz said Sky News contributor Gary Hargrave slams Lydia Thorpe for her latest outburst in which she called on Indigenous Australians to decolonise the country. That means you too, love, you're part white. We ran a poll on the question of which members of Parliament would you like to mute. And she just went through the roof, Mr. Hargrave said. She won the mute the member poll hands down. People wanted to shut up and go away. When your enemy is digging themselves into a deeper hole, let them keep digging, I say. It's pretty self-evident how stupid it is. I just don't get the point of what her point is. She doesn't have one. Because if they decolonise Australia, they'd have to decolonise at least half, if not 3/4 of her. What are they going to chop her head off and leave it there and send the rest of her body, like, to England? I don't know. Whether she likes it or not, she's a part of the colonisation, or part of her family is. Craig Kelly said net zero, a policy to transfer wealth from Australia to communist China. When will Australians wake up that politicians promoting net zero are selling out our country? Just watch how this keeps going, right? China, look at it go. Look, it went from, Jesus, 70 million to 140 million. Oh, we're going up. No, we're going. Look at Australia. It's just following down here. China's way up here. Oh, we have 1.6 billion, 1.8 billion, 2 trillion, 2 billion, sorry. 3 billion, 3.5. We're going up to 4 now. Now 5, 7, 10. This is what happened when they sold out our all of our manufacturing overseas. This is what they did to Australia, and this is what they did to China. Look at it. Look at it. Look where Australia is. Look where China is, right? It's all thanks to this idiot. There's your net zero. John Godemsky said, how in God's name do convicted criminal illegal migrants to Australia afford legal representation to the High Court of Australia when most Australians can't afford a lawyer in a magistrate's court? Because they were getting funding. Probably mostly from USAID. I'd love to see it now, by the way. Don't you worry about that. Said, can you send Australia's a 5-point email on what you did last week? This is apparently our, what is it, Governor General type person. She's supposed to call election if the government are not doing, but Anthony Albanese employed her and gave her $700,000 a year to not do that to him. That's why she's still there. Okay, here we've got a new, oh God. We have a new political party in Australia. New political party, Muslim Votes Matter, is banking on a hung parliament to influence and shape Australia according to their Islamic ideology and to secure more taxpayer funds. Will Australians wake up to what is staring the nation head on? Let's have a listen. This is insane, mind you.
When there's a hung parliament, Labor cannot take our support for granted. They'll need to work harder to earn our votes, which means more funding and more empowerment for our community.
Right now, they're giving us the bare minimum because they assume that no matter what, we'll always vote for them. But imagine if they couldn't count on that loyalty anymore. Things would change quick.
Because it's just the right thing to do.
Think about this. Labour came to us during the 2023 Indigenous Voice referendum asking for our support. They bought our votes by saying they would support the Aboriginal Australians. And we stood by them, thinking that's the right thing to do.
When there's a hung parliament, Labor cannot take our support.
You're being used. That last girl who said, oh, we voted yes for the Voice because it was, promise us more shit. And then, yeah, well, that's, you're being used, love. Sorry. Anyway, I'm hoping these people lose their funding as well. Probably USAID. I don't know. Yeah, Australia's Governor-General is a massive commie and a good friend of Albo Sleazy. He gave her the job, this one. $700,000 paycheck a year. She's an open supporter of The Voice, and when she got the job, Albo gave her a $200,000 pay rise before she even started. She earns $700,000 per annum for doing sweet fuck all. Okay. Australian Patriot, this might be the last one. The Australian Labor Party has treated the Australian public like a joke, making Albo their leader. I struggle to comprehend every day how stupid some Australians are and that this toothless, spineless piece of shit became our Prime Minister and is now destroying our country. Yeah, he is toothless, got his meth-using looking teeth removed and has false teeth now. That's why he speaks funny. As highlighted by Joe King, the prick can't talk properly without spitting out his false teeth on national TV. This is what his teeth look like, right? Now, let's have a look at Anthony Albanese. Albanese now, right? Let's get some images up. Oh, look, he's got his false teeth. Don't look anything like the teeth he used to have. Here, look. There you go. That's making the ex-Prime Minister Prime Minister. Wrong way elbow. Oh, dear God, help Australia. Yeah, it was a Virgin pilot, you know, the Virgin aircraft, right? Well, it was a pilot from a Virgin airplane, was the first to flag Chinese ships firing off Australia, by the way. Sky News Australia said Teal Independence MP Zali Steggall has been gifted an extra staff member by the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese ahead of likely negotiations between the two, an event of hung Parliament, which is what we're thinking is going to happen. Oh no, we're going to keep going for a bit. Stephen said, oh my God, they're drinking hand sanitisers in Darwin now. Wasn't enough to be drinking the petrol, now they're drinking hand sanitisers. If you've been in Australia long enough, you tend to hear the rumours that the Aboriginal people drink petrol, okay, to get high. Well, apparently now they're drinking hand sanitisers. This is what happens when you give people $50 billion each year and don't have to do any work or have any responsibility. Well, they don't get most of that money. But I don't know. I don't know why. Why? I have no idea. Why would you do it? Maybe they're trying to take themselves out by drinking petrol and hand sanitizers. I don't know. Question. Today we find out, wait for it, Albo had to be told the Chinese warships were firing by, a commercial airline. Yeah. And this says Granville Boys. I thought it was Bankstown. Okay, have we got more than one happening? But this is the same footage. Hang on, no. No, I say it's the Bankstown one. It's the same one. Larry Cook asked, will the internet shut down when the Epstein list is finally posted? Well, when they get more of the information. America as fuck said, is the Epstein list going to lead to societal collapse or something? Well, yeah, it could if you don't do it right. Vincent Kennedy said, I'll be the optimistic one to say the big reason why the Epstein Diddy lists haven't been released is because at the exact same time they will have to round people up for questioning. Going to take some organisation from FBI. Cash just got in. Taking the delay is a good sign. Okay? And Liz Churchill, this was when everyone was going, what's going on? Also, the Academy Awards will be in 6 days on March the 2nd. Wouldn't it be great if the Epstein list was announced before then? Well, I think something's going to drop right before it. Right before the Academy Awards, okay? This one was, if you think it's a coincidence that Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer became a federal judge and that very same judge, thousands of judges, was the person to sign off on the Mar-a-Lago search warrant, you haven't been paying attention. Yeah, as was everyone, including Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, who was asking, she sent a letter to the DOJ asking for status on releasing the Epstein files. Okay, everyone was calling for it. Joe Rogan News said, breaking, if Edward Snowden joined the Joe Rogan podcast to expose corrupt politicians and reveal the notorious Epstein list, would you watch? I would. Okay, and that, yep, they were all calling for it. Senator Marsha Blackburn was asking Kash Patel to release unredacted. And back to Australia, Simon Holmes, a flog, Holmes a court, supposed to be, is now a nuclear expert. At this point, it's easier to see that renewables are a Ponzi scheme, making a lot of people very rich while the rest of us get poorer. It's got nothing to do with the climate. Will Shackle said the interim report on nuclear power just dropped. After a quick search, it appears that Simon Holmes a court's name appears more than the names of any nuclear expert. At least we know now who's in charge of the government's energy policy. Apparently, it had his name more than any nuclear expert, okay? Simon Holmes a court. He runs the Teals party here in Australia. Trying to break Australia because he's getting richer off it. Oh, and this one, Francie Nancy said Australia's e-safety czar, Julian Mann-Grant, is at it again. She's fined Telegram nearly $1 million for being late and answering questions. Telegram says it will fight the ridiculous fine imposed by Australia's Online Safety Commissioner because it's disproportionate and unfair. X is already fighting a similar fine because Inman Grant didn't think they answered her question sufficiently. Does anyone else get the impression this is just the e-safety psycho on another power trip? This woman is an embarrassment to Australia, has already been found to have acted unlawfully with her informal removal notices. We should be lobbying to have her removed. Can we send her back? We don't want to. US, can we send her back to you? We don't want to. I can't wait till the day that she's found for something and possibly arrested. Craig Kelly said it's time to unite and form a grand freedom coalition for the Senate. At the last federal election, the combined Senate vote of all the different freedom conservative parties was Queensland 15.59%, New South Wales 12.2%, I'm a bit disappointed, WA 11.55%, Victoria 11.53%, Tasmania 9.97%. If the preferences flowed tightly between the parties, that would have resulted 6 Freedom senators being elected. But due to the optional preference voting system in the Senate, they didn't. So only 2 were elected, Senator Babette in Victoria and Senator Hanson in Victoria. The lesson from 2022 is that running multiple minor parties in the Senate is a recipe for failure and will deliver control of the Senate and how Australia's government to Labor, Greens and soft, weak-appeasing Liberals. And at this coming election, the Freedom vote is even more fragmented than it was in 2022. Therefore, the likely result will be the same or worse. A splintered Senate vote in 2025 could see 0 Freedom senators elected. Therefore, if we're serious and want to save the nation, it's imperative that egos and self-interests are put aside and all the minor parties come together under a grand Freedom coalition ticket in the Senate, but all parties keep their individual identities in the lower house seats around the nation. The only difficulty to overcome is how to pick what candidates are on each state's Senate ticket. And the only way I believe this can be successfully achieved is democratically from the grassroots up, where the candidate selection is made by a grand plebiscite, where each existing member of all the Freedom parties gets a vote to decide at town hall-style meeting where the prospective candidates debate each other and take questions from the floor. I believe that everyone that joined a Freedom Party is independently minded enough to make this work, to democratically select the best candidates in each state. So I call on all minor parties to put egos and self-interest aside. Let's make this work and save Australia. Let's go. This person asked an interesting question. Are you confident that Libertarian voters would vote for a one-nation candidate in their Senate if that candidate was endorsed by the Libertarian Party under this proposed arrangement? Are you confident one-nation voters would vote for a Libertarian Party candidate? There wouldn't be a one-nation candidate or Libertarian candidate by giving every member of all minor parties a vote in a grand primary. The winner becomes the Freedom Coalition candidate. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Ian Carroll, actually this one could be, these 2 will be the last. I keep saying that. Ian Carroll said, we're about to watch a transnational criminal organisation have a temper tantrum on a global scale. Get ready, major disruptions incoming. Remain calm. Michael Schellenberger said, FBI whistleblower G.O. Bactual confirmed to me that a source inside the FBI said FBI employees were destroying evidence on server and that he informed Kash Patel. I hope he and AG Pam Bondi, John Ratcliffe, Elon Musk, Rule Anna Paulina Luna are preventing this. We urgently need disclosure. Yep, there's a massive war happening in the intelligence agencies right now. The corruption being exposed right now is actual treason. Okay, so that's it for now. Okay, let's go back as far as we can. Not very far. Okay. I don't know who this is here. Were found yesterday by the police on a welfare check, 26th of Feb. Guy said, funny one, saw someone had made a Lego butt plug. No kid. Oh, my God. Alex said, maybe it's a fetish or some blackmail thing, D-Lee. How you going, D-Lee? Today is my grandson's 8th birthday. I wish I was able to be... Oh, God love him. Oh, happy birthday to your grandson. I've had my granddaughter talking my ears off for the last 3 days straight. Yes. Nanny, 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 nanny. Nanny, Nanny, Nanny. Then you don't hear for her for 5 minutes. The minute you go to do something, Nanny, Nanny, Nanny. Oh, God love her. Alex said, what? They must have been passed for a while, and then if there was mummification already. Yes, exactly. Kai said, sorry, missing out, D. Lee. Alex said, we need Tim Air. How long would that take? Yeah, to find out how long mummification would take. Alex said, I know that heat can speed up the process, but to be mummified, that sounds really weird. Kai said 3 to 4 weeks, maybe if everything was perfect for it. Alex says, speed up the process of decomposition, I mean. Dan, how you going? Good to see you. Amen. George said Gene Hackman was found mummified. Yep. No, apparently his wife, her feet and hands were mummified. I don't know. Was it? Hang on. Let's go back and have a look. How far back do we need to go? Quite a fair bit. Okay, where are we? Okay, where are they? My God, I've done a lot of news. Okay. Oh, 1 hour, 51 minutes. No wonder it's a lot of news. Okay. Let's keep going till we find them. Where are they? I'm trying to find them. It'll be up near the top somewhere. Which one did I read that said that? Maybe it was in one of the oh, yep. Again, that's most definitely a dude. Mary has a jawline like Marvin. Oh, wow. Okay, it wasn't that one. Okay, let's go back again. Not that one. I'm trying to find it. People are thinking maybe they were on the list. Gas leak, I think, sounds most likely, or double suicide. Yeah, but the dog as well. What did they do? Without being judgmental, but this sounds very suspicious to me unless they accidentally gassed themselves and a dog. Then very, very suspicious. I'm not being a conspiracy theorist, but don't the Epstein files get released today? Again, I'm just speculating without any evidence whatsoever. Was there another one? Where the hell? I remember reading it, but where was it? Okay, let me go. 911 call from the moment Gene Hackman and his body were discovered. Released audio. Okay. Where did I read that? Yep, as the Gateway pundit previously reported, Hackman and his wife were found mummified in their Santa Fe, New Mexico home. It was also noted pills were discovered around Arakawa's. Yeah, but that can be a setup too. Okay. Where's their previous one? I want to read it. Okay, as the Gateway pundit previously reported, actor Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy were found dead on Wednesday afternoon along with a family dog. At first, TMZ reported that carbon monoxide poisoning was to blame for the deaths. Daily Mail later Thursday reported that Hackman and his wife were found mummified in their Santa Fe, New Mexico compound. Authorities were unable to immediately identify the bodies because they were poorly decomposed. Prescription pills were scattered on the bathroom counter near her body. Groundkeepers say they haven't seen the couple in 2 weeks. Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy were found partially mummified at the couple's $3.3 million mansion with pills strewn in their bathroom. An arrest warrant obtained by Daily Mail revealed Arakawa, 64, was found decomposing with bloating on her face and mummification in her hands and feet. Sheriff said Hackman was found to have the same signs of decomposition as his wife. Okay. No indication has been given as to what the pills were and whether they'd been prescribed to him or his wife. So, yeah, they were found mummified. Yes, they were. Kai said they once found a guy in a boat, lost for almost 2 years. It was dried at radio. Didn't look too hot, though. George said found. Dan said shit show. Kai said I only heard deceased with pet. Deb said weird, taken off. Deb said buckle up, buttercups. It's what the Schumann residency is saying, you reckon? I reckon the Schumann resonance is people, all of our emotions, all of our reactions. Hey, Joanne, how you going? Hi, all. I just got on. Hope all have enjoying the unfolding of the BS. Thanks, Head, for all your work. God love you, Joanne. Alex said, I think it said her hands were showing signs of mummification, but both look like they've been gone for a while. Everyone's saying hello. Deb said, you holes' lives are different. George said, was there any gunshot wounds on the bodies? Kai said, found in bed. Maybe poison, said George. Look peaceful, said Kai. George said overdose. Kai said highly possible. Got the dog from scraps. Alex said, I have thought about leaving the UK, but why should I have to? It's becoming unbearable, though. What we need is to get rid of the suppressors and enablers who are ruining it all. That's why you got to vote. That's why you can't just sit it out. Because if you do, when you lose, then you got no comeback. Like, you can't. It's just my opinion, but I believe you need to vote. And that's the only way you're going to get out of what you're in. Kai said, bit one of the first two, I bet. Kai said, everything's going to be just fine. Cross fingers. George said, Trump gave me the impression he does not like Starmer. No, he doesn't. You can tell by the... I don't think JD does either, from the way he was talking. Alex said, who does? I even think Zelensky's pretending to like him because I think he thinks he's getting another payout. Kai said, Trump's doing a national audit. The deep despise him right now. The deep state despise him right now. Yeah, I'm sure they do. Kai said they've already found more crap than Nixon ever dreamed of thinking about. George said, murder-suicide, Alex? Kai said, double sewer. One found the other and followed example. Any other time I would agree with you, Kai, but this time I think it's a bit sus. That's just me, though. Alex said, could be. When they say they suspect no foul play, it usually means suicide, but then they said there was no foul play with Matt Perry. Then it came out he was being fleeced, George. Dealey said, Musk Doge team apparently doesn't exist. Peggy Hall did a research dive. No, it's another department that has been renamed DOGE, or Department of Government Efficiency, but it's always been there. It was another department, and they've just taken it over, and that's what they're doing. Deb said, I don't know who Peggy Hall is either. So Deb said, I think we can expect some unaliving with the release of the list. That's what I'm thinking about. This weekend might be that weekend. Either this weekend or next weekend, because it's going to come out slowly, I think, over time. Alex said, is that a team that had a person called Big Balls, Dealey? Dealey said, yes, Alex, and several others. George said, is Trump going to release the list? Kai said, don't forget Harry. Yeah. Deb said, Fugly warns. Alex said, trolling the MSN. Deb said, yes, Miss Wong was in the hot seat. Oh, mate, she is enough to make anyone frustrated. I don't know how Senator Patterson, whatever his name is, was able to remain calm and speak to her the way she was carrying on. Yeah, I think she's an infiltrator. I really do. Groomed for it. Kai said, I'm surprised there's no drippy. Joanne said, Mr. Wong is a spy. Exactly. Alex said, who knows? I think we all know who's on that list, George. Kai said, Slimy would have been a hilarious one. George said, I heard Lord Toucan is in Tasmania. Deb said, with live fire in Australians' water. Alex said, Charlie was going to convert to Islam, so he'd love it if the UK became Muslim. I'm sure he would. Would he be king anymore? I don't think so. Deb said, maybe it's like a drum roll with the list. George said, Charles is a traitor. The royal family should be abolished. Deb said, I think you'll find Charlie is Muslim. Kai said, the internet is ending Islam. Alex said, I agree, George. They should have gone when the Queen passed. Yep. Kai said, the truth of it is ending. George said, if I had money, I would leave London. I feel for you guys, and if I had money, I'd leave Australia and go to America right now. I'm sure a lot of us would. Kai said, I'm hoping it gets better over there soon. Deb said, fanatics in any religion is bad. Alex said, you would probably find it cheaper living outside London and still be close enough to visit, George. George said, things are going to get worse, Kai. Kai said, I know, but I'm still hoping. Yeah, you can always hope. Deb said, different kinds of Jews. Yes, there are. Kai said, this is a culling of mankind. Hey, Paranormal Oz, how you going? George said, BBC funding Hamas. Deb said, using a religion to hide their agenda. Yep. A lot of them do. Kai said, the religion is the agenda built on violent conquest. Alex said, I think it's going to get worse too. Starmer's only been in for nearly 8 months and he's already made irreparable damage, and we apparently have another 4 years of it. Unless something happens and Starmer gets called back to the US to face some kind of consequences, and that's what I'm hoping for ours. Deb said, they do not want us in their country either. Kai said there could be a couple of million sleepers walking around too. Yeah, I believe there are. Kai said, good excuse to run roughshod over anyone. George said, the UK won't last 4 years. Things are at breaking point, Alex. Deb said, yes, Kai. Kai said, this is all planned out. Joanne said, wow, I bet the kids have no real idea what they're saying and what it means. Those adults need to go and teach the children. Yeah. And Paranormal Oz said, fuck that shit, get rid of them. Exactly. Deport them. And if there are teachers teaching them this, because I think teachers are brainwashing students, and if they are, they can be deported too. If they support that country and are Australian, deport them over to that country. If they are wearing Palestine scarves and all that kind of stuff, deport them over there. I don't care if they're Australian and born here. If they support that, go there. Alex said, can you imagine going over there now and trying to change it all? It would not happen. Makes me want to weep. I don't feel safe anymore. Deb said, bloody disgrace for Albo. Alex said, yeah, I know. It worries me as they're coming in by the thousands and Starmer hates us all, George. Alex said, I agree. All planned for their great reset to have us controlled, Kai. Kai's talking about fart spray, an awesome deterrent. Close up, it's just hideous. Oh. Kai said, I'm not kidding. Catch him in the face. It's over. Joanne said, I was told by a Muslim person 20 years ago, we are going to take your country. I said, how? He said, from the inside out. Now I see what he meant. Yep. Paranormal Oz said his name was Barry Satoro. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Paranormal Oz. I wonder if they know that name and they know him at all by that. No, I don't think. They would have recognised him, surely. He hasn't changed that much from when he was young. Deb said, shame, 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 Albo. Paranormal Oz said, Trump for PM. George said, Obama's a fraud. Kai said, yep, that'll be the Civil War, a holy war. Deb said, damn right, Paranormal Oz. Joanne said, the next Polly has to talk straight and inform the people on every issue like Trump is doing for the people now. I think the main one who is doing that is Senator Babbitt. We've got like Malcolm Roberts as well. We have Senator Gerard Rennick. These are all small party people too, all the freedom parties. So I believe that's what you kind of got to vote for. Deb said it's also transparent, not. Kai said, and the survivors will erase Islam completely. Joanne said, look at these women's faces. Really, Australia is what we want, not me. Kai said, saddest thing is they won't have it any other way. Joanne said, they say the next one is going to rock, so I got the song popcorn in my chair ready to watch it unfold. Yep. George says, Islam and the New World Order. Deb said, it's all tits on a bull. Yep, absolutely useless. Joanne said, the lines in the sky make my hair fuzzy. Mine too. George said, Bill Gates looks like a nonce. Deb said, Obama's what we are expecting to be first, so it's not a shock to us. Joanne said, Bill loves to talk about what he's done. Alex said, I would say that's pretty accurate, Billy Goat. Yeah, he's admitting it. He said, we'll let the people decide. Well, I've decided, okay, that I agree with RFK Jr. about him and Fauci. Deb said, Mars is coming out of retrograde, so buckle up, people. Hey, Carrie, how you going? Good to see ya. Alex said, Billy and Starmer both sound like they voice the Muppet Show. The guy said, Carrie. Everyone's saying, hello, Carrie. Deb said, body language say it's true. George said, they are Muppets, Alex. Joanne said, yes, Deb, looking forward to it. Not. Stu, how you going? Fuzzy Bear, Alex. Everyone's saying hello to Stu, and Stu's saying hello to everyone. George said, the UK has no room for any more people. Deb said, all this for her facelifts. Pelosi, yeah. Stu said, Australia does, but we don't want any more until they widen the roads, build more hospitals and houses. Yeah, and we don't want anyone coming over and bringing their bullshit with them. Okay? Leave your bullshit fighting at home. Or go back there. Simple as that. And I'm talking both sides. I don't care who it is. Leave your bullshit at home or go back to your home country and keep fighting it. I don't know. I don't want to hear. I'm sure most Australians don't want to hear. Kai said, Pelosi looks like her eyebrows are running from her eyes. Yeah, they're trying to escape off the top of her head. Deb said, politics, all pants on fire. Yep. Kai said, Polly, many, ticks, blood-sucking parasites. Yep. Deb said, washing down the drain. George says, Starmer never answers a question. Dealey said, good one, Kai. Kai said, Democrats and rip public vans. Rip public cans. Deb said, bring on the dangerous. Alex said, yeah, they'll dig up our green belt to make way for them, though. Land they're never supposed to touch. We're so tiny we can't cope, but offer everything for free, unlike France, George. George said, I wonder if Starmer dances like that. Probably. Stu said, that makes me glad Trump can't dance. Yep. Alex said, Zelensky dancing, probably double, said Alex. Kai said, I can't dance either. Have you heard the song, that song? I can't dance, I can't walk. The only thing about me is the way that I talk. I think. What's his name? Oh, from Genesis. Far out. Okay, I've forgotten his name. Come on, man. I'm having a menopause moment. What's his face? Phil Collins. Phil. Hey, Phil. And what happened here? Okay. My mouse has stopped working. I can't do anything. Hang on. Oh no. Oh, just got blinded by the light. Oh, there we go. Blinded by the light on the mouse. Okay, Stu said, oh, hang on, I was up here. Deb said, keep your hands off our Trump. Kai said, sorry, Deb, didn't know it matters that much. Stu said, our silly defence minister said, oh, it's just freedom of passage when was the Southern Ocean an international trade route for China. They keep making excuses for the Chinese. Oh, well, you should hear Penny Wong saying it's both, yes, they did, let us know, and no, they didn't. Okay, pre-warning for the shots fired. You should hear it. It's quite amazing to listen to. Never heard anything like it. Okay. Kai said, I'll get lessons if it'll help. Deb said, yes, I watched this total debacle. Wasn't it, Deb? Did you see Penny Wong being questioned? Oh, my God. Stu said, Dancing with the Stars, Kai, you and me both, matey. Joanne said, so who's looking after our safety of invader? I know. I don't think anyone is. Oh, God. Oh, wow.
Timar28 tipped $25.
Legend.
Was texting with Deb, decided to hop in the chat. The mummification process can begin in 1 week. Depending on how dry and hot the environment, full mummification can occur in 1 to 3 months.
Depends as moisture wicking stays ahead of the decomp. Very good. Thank you, Timmy, for letting us know, you legend. That's a really good thing to know. So someone said they haven't seen them for 2 weeks. So it could be possible they've been gone for 2 weeks. Excellent. That's great information, Tim. Thank you so much for that. And I appreciate that. That's good to know because then it makes sense for the 2 weeks that no one's seen them for, that they could have been dead for at least 2 weeks, okay? George said dancing on ice. Yeah, that'd be me, like more like pinwheeling on ice. Oh, I've got a cough. Hang on a sec. Yeah, I'd be pinwheeling on ice, George. Joanne said, BS, they didn't know about China being in our waters. Yeah, well, people are actually saying that when the warships are going, there's normally 2 subs with them. So let's see what happens. We could have a major FF off Australia's coast or Australia itself. Guy said Joanne, so far nobody yet. Alex said they always make excuses. Why are these people being paid to do a job they're not doing? Oh, you should hear it. That's why I shared our politicians getting grilled in ours isn't Congress, ours is whatever it is. You should hear them. None of them know what they're doing. Oh, we'll take that on notice. We'll take that on notice. We'll take that on notice. Because they can't answer a question. None of them, and mainly women, man. And I'm peed off at the women right now, right? Especially these feminist ones, right? No, I'm not peed off at all women, just the feminist ones that are in our that are in politics, you know? Because none of them can answer a damn question. And I want to know what they've done for the last week, mate. Stu said, we got a US sub in the West and Hamas Arunta is alongside in Melbourne this week. Oh, that could be interesting. Ruff said, they're killing our marine life with their bombs and no one gives a fuck. Yeah, I agree, Ruff. How you going, Ruff, anyway? Stu said, Penny Wong is working for the China. That's what I think, Stu. Yep. Infiltrator. Deb said, I cannot understand why they don't understand the bloody question they were not answering. I know. None of them have any idea. Look, if this is really the brains of our government, we are in deep, deep, deep shit. Because they're all fucking stupid. Oh, my God. They are so dumb. Alex said, our military defences are all weak. We've given everything away to Ukraine. If it all kicked off, we'd be buggered. Same here. I'd like to see, like, seriously, if China attacked, I wouldn't like to see it, actually, not at all. But if China attacked Australia and we did not have help from the US, we'd be gone. Regardless of what you think we're capable of, without the US, we're not. George said the UK has about 70,000 soldiers, and I learned that like 10 years ago, okay? Without the US, our army, they can't do very much. They can try, like they can have a go, but they won't do very much. Stu said, and Max was swimming the beaches at Apollo Bay and Brighton yesterday. Cool. Alex said, yeah, it makes me sick. No wonder all the deep sea animals are coming to the surface. Humans have ruined this planet, rough. Well, not normal humans, just the ones in charge. I mean, I don't go killing deep sea animals, do you, Alex? No. That's because the people in charge who do all this shit do. Kai said they're all narcissists with main character syndrome. I think they are, actually, Kai. That's spot on. Especially Penny Wong. She's in her own little world. She's the queen of her own little world, mate. And you can tell, comes off in her attitude. Stu said, yes, George, but they're better than 700,000 Chinese or Islamic soldiers. Well, what if the Islamic people rised up with the Chinese people, and then you got way more of them than you have of Australians, I think. Australian soldiers, anyway. Deb said, you use politics, then it's total bullshit after. You use politics, then it's total bullshit after that. George said, we used to have a great military, Stu. Deb said, how many migrate here are sleepers for takeover? Yeah, exactly. Deb said, we don't say oxygen thieves for nothing. Stu said, sounds a bit sus, Alex. Probably thrown overboard and left behind by his mates. Might have made a bad joke. Alex said, yes, and going down. That's why they keep threatening conscription, because no one wants to join the military anymore. Yes, so what happens when all the people, like, who want to fight for your country leave and then they have a problem? That'll be the politicians fighting themselves. Joanne said, there are more of them than Australia, so we're in shit if this Muslim is true about party. Yeah. Stu said, look at checkered foreskin. George said, conscription for the lefty twats. How about we conscript our leaders first and their families and see how that goes? Stu said, as Danger Dan would say, dickhead. Yeah, exactly. Deb said, yes, loyalty. Alex said, like a packet of Monster Munch. Deb said, whose bloody loyalty? Joanne said, Albo's teeth look like evil doll. Yeah, they do, don't they? It's not hard to learn to talk with dentures. I don't know. It's not that hard. Deb said, what's it called when you pay people to keep their mouth shut? Blackmail? I don't know. Stu said, licking cane toads is so passé now. Stu said, a fine from court for breaking their jaw, Deb. Pat, how you going, Pat? Most of them have bad teeth and are wearing falsies. They are interbred. Mm-hmm. Everyone's saying hello, Pat, and Pat's saying hello, everyone. Deb said, are you trying to say aliens have landed, Deb? Aline have landed? Aliens, yep. Alex said, good to see you, Pat. I should have just read the next comment. I would have found out. Oh, my God. Okay, I'm here somewhere. Nisi, how you going? Hey, Hev, and all of you, I send love and hope to every one of you. You too, Nisi. Good to see ya. Stu said, I said to Malcolm Roberts on his podcast, we didn't vote for her. Hate speech Karen, but he abstained from voting on the hate speech bill, so he's lost my favour as quickly. Well, you can go to the Libertarian Party, or what was the other one? You got the Trumpet of Patriots now. I mean, there's people to vote for. There are people to vote for. I wouldn't, if I was eligible to vote, you know why I'm not an Australian citizen right now? I looked up the questionnaires. They're woke. I won't be able to answer them truthfully. So I can't even go for my Australian citizenship because of all the woke questions on there. And it's all about giving Aboriginals the land. And, oh, mate, you should have a look at 20 test questions. It's on YouTube. Or some example questions of what citizenship involves. And you'll see what I'm talking about, the woke shit. I wouldn't be able to answer it truthfully or right. So I would not pass as an Australian citizen anymore. Right. I'm not going for it until they get all that woke shit out of there. But if I could, I would vote for one of these freedom parties or more than one of them and try my hardest to make a change. I know it's only one person, but look, all these little one people, they add up. But I agree with you, Stu. I know since they abstained, Pauline and Malcolm Roberts from One Nation, since they've abstained from voting on the free speech, hate speech Karen thing, they have lost a lot of support. Deb said, now that would be exciting. Send E. Karen home. Wouldn't you love that? Deb said, they lie to your face and do the opposite anyway, Stu. Stu said, yes, 100%, Deb, but I still have hope, be it fool's hope. Pat said, nice to meet you, EC. Alex said, happy birthday to your grandson, D. Lee. Deb said, let's not look at some early Macca's toys. Stu said, that dog's face made up for all the filth. It's too cute. It looked like a little seal. The little dog's face looked like a baby seal. It was so beautiful. Stu said, all the filth, especially with that dancing, Alex, not as bad as toilet licking, but still. Yeah, that was quite interesting, them dancing. Alex said, why was welfare check only done just now? If the groundskeeper hasn't seen them in 2 weeks, is it hot in Santa Fe? I don't see how they were mummified. The only way is if their air control was turned, like their air conditioner or something was turned up to warm, hot maybe. MJ, how you going? No Way Out, 87. Literally, he was Lex Luthor. Man, he made a lot of big movies. Stu said, scarred for life. MJ said, took my son to barbershop and the place was a buzz about this. I had no clue. Really? Wow. Stu said, should be pronounced doggy, not some French doge. Stu said, I mean, the way they pronounce doge sounds so pompous. Deb said, our Dr. Tim A.G. said a couple of months to mummification. Okay, well, maybe they've been there longer than people are reporting. Maybe they haven't been seen for more than 2 weeks. Or could the heat be turned up so much that it causes mummification quicker? I don't know. MJ said maybe Oscar attendees will marinate on this. Poor dog, though. Yeah. Well, it has to be. Seriously, I don't even see how the pills can be the thing that did it. And because I can't see anyone giving their dogs pills. That would be painful, you know. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I can't see anyone doing that to their dog, even if they wanted to take themselves out. The only other thing I can think of is gas or carbon monoxide. I don't know. Alex said, oh, wow, yeah, I thought it seemed a bit too soon for that to happen, Deb. Deb said, environmental then for mummification. Yeah, MJ said AC left on, maybe air conditioning left on. Deb said, we can add to the list of things to talk about in our next call-in show with our doctor in the house. Timmy, yeah, definitely. Deb said they call Trump dangerous. MJ said, Phil, yep. George said, Genesis, that's it. Stu said, Phil Collins, Hev. Deb said, karaoke, Hev. Deb said, send in the cat to get the mouse. Deb said, while she was out of the country, the song or the eong? George said, Timmy with a thumbs up. Stu said, but I wanted to be daddy, not a mummy. Alex said, awesome, Timmy. Deb said, spectacular, Timmy. MJ said, Valentine's Day. Interesting. Alex said, oh, yeah, MJ, wasn't that near a full moon too? Deb said, I slide on my bottom. MJ said, dang, Alex, weird, right? Deb said, it was a live war game. Stu said, bring it on. We'll show them cheeky Chinese some. Alex said, 12th of Feb was a full moon. Deb said, yet Penny was trying to say it was all over-dramatised. Oh, yeah. And she said it both didn't happen at the same time, that they were warned and they weren't warned. So work that out, if you can work that out. Stu said, rough, we call it expendable bait. Boom. Alex said, I think a lot more is going to come out about it. I think it will too. Deb said, we are deep shit. Stu said, a torpedo was found near the Gold Coast, Mother Dearest was telling me. Alex said, yeah, I meant the people setting bombs off and that. Of course, we protect all animals, lol. Where was that? There. Deb said all this would make our diggers giving their lives for the country cry. Oh, they'd be turning in their graves right now. Pat said, why would we want any of them? They all come with a suitcase and become billionaires. Why couldn't they do it in their own country? Exactly. Deb said, we went to war for freedom so our government could be ashamed. Alex said, I think that's Partly why so many young fighting age men are coming in who are being allowed to go into the military and police, etc. worrying. Deb said, yes, sorry, I have dyslexia. So do I sometimes, Deb, don't worry about it. Deb said, so the Australian politician will be safe when the military age men migrants take over? I don't think they will. I think they'll get kicked out and they'll try and take their jobs. So who's going to stand up for the Australian politicians when that happens? No one. Deb said, Pomeranian, you reckon? Alex said, I thought about that. Aircon was probably on and dried them out, but was still too hot, so decomposed too. Alex said, very confusing. Deb said, that was just hand and feet. Was they in a hot, dry place? No, it said that their bodies were, but their hands and feet. They did point out their hands and feet as well. Alex said, if they died 2 weeks ago, maybe the dog starved? Could be. Alex said, hopefully we'll learn more. But wouldn't the dog start eating them? Deb said, not fooling our Hev today. Deb said, she looks ridiculous. Stu said, well, it's all the politicians that will have to answer to the diggers. Yes, I think so. With that, guys, I'm going to go for today. I'll be back in the morning and hopefully on screen tomorrow. My nose is cleared up, I think. Yep, just about. Yep. So I should be on the screen tomorrow, sweating my ass off. Okay, I hope I see you then, guys. Same time tomorrow. Hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Oh, God love you, Timmy.
Timar28 tipped $15. It's very dry in NM this time of year. If the heat was turned up high enough in the house, and, as long as moisture leaving the body was faster than decomposition, they would conceivably begin to mummify in a week roughly. Which
kind of checks out. Thank you, Timmy. Oh, God love you. You're a legend. Okay, so that could be why. It's very dry in MM this time of year. If the heat was turned up high enough in the house, and as long as moisture leaving the body was faster than decomposition, then they would conceivably begin to mummify in roughly a week, which kind of checks out. So there you go. God love you, Timmy. Thank you for clearing that up. Now we know a bit more, and yes, we will have the normal call-in show on my Monday or Sunday. But tomorrow I'll be live tomorrow as well. So I'm hoping to see you guys there. Hey, Randy, how you going? And I hope you have a good morning, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. And I'll talk to you. See you tomorrow. Bye, guys.